You know what? There was a lot of carryover. It was good to see. Excuse me. I have my notes. These are my notes right here. In case you wonder, so I can get the coaches afterwards.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But, a lot of good carryover, and I thought the tempo and pace of practice was good. I think one of the guys said it best. One of the receivers, they kind of felt rusty, and that's usually the way it is the first day of spring ball. But there's a lot of good teaching, and guys got a ton of reps, so I feel real good about that. And excited to get it viewed and get it graded, and then meet with the guys and then improve again on Thursday. So,
are you seeing that each and every year as a spring practice and fall practice? They're getting closer and closer to the tempo that you want.
And even today, we finished early. I was able to spend put some more time into some special teams periods because they got the reps in, and the different tempos at which we run, and it's really good for our defense as well because you see a lot of that tempo change, and maybe I ought to add some more reps, but that's not fair.
Just how did you feel about some of these guys you've moved to positions and all that? Did they seem to know where they were going and what they were doing, or is there a lot of confusion
It
still?
was interesting because a couple of the guys started to run with their offense or defense and then realized they were in a different color jersey. And then I think Garrett actually might have thrown it to one of the former receivers on one of it, and I had to explain to him, Willie's not a receiver anymore. So, but no, they fit in. They didn't look out of place, and that's really kind of what you're looking for, especially first day out.
How do you want them to approach this? As a fresh start, a new chance? How should guys switch in position in spring and really view it?
I think it speaks volumes for probably their versatility, number one. I think you got to look at it as a compliment. I mean, look, I got a chance now to go play at a different spot, because I've shown that, especially through RAMU and the different things that we do that way as far as our change of direction stuff, that we feel they have an opportunity. And these guys, look, it appeared, I'll see it on film, but you know what, they ran to the ball, the guys that switched sides there, and the guys that came over on offense, I think was really happy with Trey Moxley, what he did at tackle, actually, out there. I'm sure he made a lot of line calls as a running back at Roaring Fork, and a punter. So I was kind of excited to see that.
In the case of Devon, how much of it did it have to do with what you saw on him? Because he was a gunner and a bullet for you last year.
Probably, as we talked in the offseason, what he did for us in special teams probably said, you know what, he's got long runs, and he's obviously a good-sized corner. So let's give him, his courage is plenty good. Let's give him an opportunity to be that kind of player.
And then in the case of Jason, because it seemed like, he played as a true freshman for you. It seemed like he found kind of a spot maybe where he could be like the next Shaq Bell for you.
Yeah.
Why his move? I guess,
as a guy coming out when we recruited him, he's one of those guys who played both sides of the ball. Yeah. And, we thought of him as a running back. We feel like we might need a little more physical guy at that. And he was excited about giving it an opportunity.
Could Jason be a DB again in the fall when you got the new guys coming in?
All these guys, we're going to reevaluate after spring, and in some cases, if it's not working out, we may move it, before spring ball's over. But, you've got to be able to give it a good 8-9 practices, to kind of find out, hey, is he a fish out of water, or is it, is it something that might fit him?
I didn't see Bryce out here today. Are you guys a little light on running backs?
Yeah, Bryce has an elevated white cell count, okay, which means he got a sore throat. And so we held him, and he came in this morning, and Terry thought it'd be best. But you know what? That's just more reps for the other guys. So.
And there are enough other guys?
Oh, yeah.
At this point?
Okay.
I'm curious, does camp run smoother, because you like to run 4 teams, does camp run smoother with only 4 pumpkins as opposed to the 5 you had last?
That's good. I like that. That's hard to say, but I was really happy with the carryover. One of the things I think that, we haven't really talked about this off season. Was we had a couple of our coaches that had opportunities to go to other places, bigger conferences, whatever, however you want to look at it, and they chose to stay. And that continuity is something that really helps practice. I mean, you're not teaching a new guy, where the spots are, how the drills go, and I'm just really fortunate. Those guys, we've all stayed together so far.
When you look at it, how surprised are you? I think it's only one coach and you've had to switch.
Yeah, Billy.
Two, yeah.
He made he went to Florida State and then went to Alabama. Maybe should have stayed at Florida State. But even at that move, we were able to bring Art Valero in, who I'd coached with before and kind of knew how it worked, and so it was a really smooth transition.
But how nice has that been for you as a head coach as you try to build a program to have the same guys spring after spring?
Look, guys, we've got fantastic coaches here, and they work their tail off, and they care about the university, and care about this town, and they've invested in the town. Their wives are active parts of the community, and speaks volumes for what a great place Fort Collins is. And but at the same time, that probably the worst thing in this position is having to hire road coaches and not having to go through that process. It's, let's just keep it that way. Thanks, guys.